That was pretty spot on, man.
Yeah, I was like, do I let it go all the way to the end, or do I?
You did it right at the 3, and that intro is about 3 seconds long. I was watching the clock, the live clock, click up in conjunction with the click down.
Oh, perfect.
And yeah, you were like, so that your timing that's spot on. You nailed it.
I've been practicing all week.
Fiona, come here. Dad's got to practice his timing.
I need you to climb on my back and yell in my face.
You push this button. I'm going to push this button.
Oh, that.
We'll see what happens.
Oh man, it's Wednesday, dude. I'll tell you, it's warm. It's actually warm today. It was a balmy 38 degrees this morning.
Yeah, it feels great. I'm like, we're having a heat wave.
I didn't even I got in the car. Normally I'll run out and start the car or whatever to get it warm and all that good stuff. And then I got in the car and I was like, crap, I didn't warm the car. Actually, it's not so bad today.
Not bad.
How about that? Yeah, we'll turn the heat off in the gym. They'll be fine. So they'll all be fine. It'll be great. So anyway, hey Jack.
Hey Eric.
I have an update for you.
On.
So the goal was 20. The goal was 20. And we are technically at 18 athletes. Due to some technical difficulties, we could be at like 22, 23. We'll get that figured out. So didn't quite hit 20, but the 20 is there. The 20 is
good,
there.
Man. It's pretty good.
So get that sorted out. And I think 30 is a realistic goal by next week too at this pace.
Cool.
We totally went up. Yeah, because we had 10 at the end of last week. I think we were at 10.
How many of those? What's the percentage of first timers and repeat offenders?
Ooh, that's a good question. So let me look at that real quick. Oh, someone just died. Let's pull it up. I'm going to pull it up on the CrossFit Games app. Download it today to your cellular device, and right there you'll be able to log your workouts and make
anything you want to let folks currently not signed up but who intend on signing up. Anything you want to let them know about? Something
we will get there. It will be.
Sorry, I didn't want to.
No, it was good. It will be build the suspense. It will be behoove.
Yeah, I don't know.
It will be in your best interest.
Wait,
it will be in your best interest to sign up for the Open, and you will find out why shortly. But let me see.
I just meant any heads up you want to give them about if they try to associate themselves to Fairwinds right now while they're signing up.
If they what?
If they try to associate themselves to Fairwinds CrossFit when they sign up for their affiliate.
Oh yeah, I've de-affiliated.
Whoa, that was aggressive. I just meant so that they're not surprised.
There's something going on. It's not letting you select Fairwinds as your gym. So you can do one of two things. I put in the Facebook group that there was this difficulty, and I'm trying to figure out what's going on. So once I hear back from HQ, I'll put that out.
I'm not your social media target audience. Sorry. Yeah. So that's probably you probably hit 90%. You probably hit 90% of the members. Yeah, they're actually members of society.
There you go. So if that pops up, you can do one of two things: A, come back later, or B, just mark unaffiliated, and you can go back and change it once it gets sorted out. So that way you're already. And you can, if you want to make sure I know that you're registered, feel free to send me a message or something like that. But looking at first timer, so Alicia signed up. She's a first timer. I believe she's a first timer to the Open. I actually need to double check that because I know she's done CrossFit in the past. She's the first timer to the Open at Fairwinds, that's for sure. Okay. This is Daphne's first Open, Lauren's first Open, Josh's first Open, Dat's first Open, Dimitri's first Open. So that's out of the 18, let's count Alicia. We'll count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 6 of 18, so 1/3.
Yeah.
Good old solid 33% new athletes.
Cool. Nice.
So there are some athletes that this would be yet another Open for them. But I'm hearing some things like I've got this going on, so I'm not sure that this is the year that I'm really going to put into it because I know I'm not going to be able to do this and I can't do this, and it's all back to that conversation the other day. I want to be like, come on, guys, like I will not shame anybody, but it's like, come on, like sign up for the Open.
I mean, I mean, Eric, I don't understand. I'm just gonna poop tomorrow. Why would I bother wiping my ass when I poop today? I mean, I'm just gonna stop wiping. I'm just gonna stop wiping because I mean, I'm just gonna poop tomorrow and it's just gonna get dirty again. So I don't know.
Like I feel that way. I usually go with the why would I make my bed if I'm just gonna sleep in it tonight? But the poop one's a good one too.
Right? It's a little bit more visceral, right? It requires a little bit more imagination and mental gymnastics to I'm not picking up on the connection. I'm not seeing how that relates. And it's it offers the opportunity to explore for yourself why you do anything in this world. Right? Like, why bother? Why bother eating? Why bother doing anything? That's right. I don't have an answer for you. I don't know. Like if that's it, if that's the single purpose or meaning of something like the Open is like you're gonna win. Okay. Like so I'm just I can't do Eric, I can't walk on my hands across a 50-meter obstacle course up and down ramp. So I'm just not even going to bother doing CrossFit anymore.
Yeah,
that's what they do at the semifinals and regionals. So I mean, why would I bother?
It's true. Remember that time that Katrin, David's daughter, couldn't climb a rope?
Yeah, I mean, so she should have just quit CrossFit right then.
Right then and there, she should have just left. She said, "You know what? This ain't for me. I'm out."
Yeah, it seemed to work out though for her.
Yeah, I think she made the right call.
I mean, she came back, yeah.
I think she made the right call for a little bit. She's doing.
I will say when they made a video of Ben Bergeron pouring sand down her bathing suit while she was doing a workout, it was odd that within like less than a month
Oh,
he was no longer her coach. She moved on to another coach. So maybe there's something to cause and effect of his methodology to losing athletes. Don't pour sand down your athletes' suits.
Hold on, I need to write that down. Hold on. Don't pour sand down athletes' suits. Sorry, Dimitri. Don't
it's making you better. Learn to suffer. Through the suffering, you are learning. I don't want to suffer.
Embrace the chafe.
Yeah, embrace the chafe. Oh, Benny.
Oh, sweet Ben Bergeron. Have you looked at his the CompTrain platform at all?
Nah, I'm pretty. I'm pretty.
I mean, if anything, out of curiosity,
I'm trimmed down to what I pay attention to these days, and just I mean, I wouldn't call it stovepiped, but I don't know. There's ebbs and flows for me personally, as far as the maybe the frequency with which I measure. The measure I use is maybe the frequency or the periodicity of the media that I'm consuming. So I like YouTube and social media and stuff. Like I'm not antagonistic to it or say, but like the periodicity with which it comes out. So how quickly something comes is heralded as like, oh my God, this is the best ever. It's so great. It's so great. And then within a less than a 24-hour cycle time, it's gone.
Yeah.
To me, I'm kind of like, you know what? That's too frenetic for me. Like, so I'm thinking like, right, if I'm going to read something or whatever, kind of like, if it's not like a couple 100 years old, I'm not really sure I want to read it. I'm not sure I want to digest it. Because it's kind of like, kind of like, it's had some runtime. Others have kind of read it, digested it, said like, oh, this is of worth. And then I go, all right, well, it's stuck around. I'll read it and digest it. And that's, I'm over exaggerating. Like clearly I read and consume other things that are not that old, or, in other platforms. We're on said platform right now. It's just so, oh, thumbs up. Is that you? Is that me? You thumbs up your boat? That was kind of cool. Did you see that?
I did. Is that something I did?
I don't know.
Zoom really... like that, where you can be like this, and then like balloons start coming down, or if you do this, it'll.
That's super creepy. Yeah.
Did someone just give us a thumbs up? Is that a thing that happened?
Oh.
Thank you for the thumbs up, whoever.
Thanks AI. Thanks AI overlords.
Yeah, right.
Appreciate it.
We're
But
not
yeah,
worthy. We're not worthy.
so I figure I am right. I'm in the process of trying to develop my own professionalism as a CrossFit coach.
Makes sense.
So most of what I'm trying to consume is CrossFit, like specifically like from the mothership sort of CrossFit. And like, so I watch Dave's weekly thing. I watch some of Savan's stuff because I feel like even though I don't agree with 90% of what he says
Yeah.
outside of CrossFit. He has Glassman on. I like listening to Glassman. I've gone back and I've started reading like all the old journal articles again. Like, so
Has he cleaned up the audio with when Glassman's on, or is it still like a?
no, I mean it's like this. Like he's on a headset or he's on earbuds or whatever. It
Someone
is better. I mean,
was like, yeah, it
he's
sounded like he was calling
cell
you from
phone.
a payphone. I'm like, what
Yeah,
is?
is he from space? Where's he calling from? He's on Glassman's on the space station.
Probably over there. Operator, get me
Yeah.
Savan. I don't know what I'm
Over,
doing.
good buddy. Roger. Yeah, breaker. But I don't know. So that like right, like so that was a really long answer to your question, or it's maybe just in that opportunity of giving that long answer to the question. No, I am unaware of what Mr. Bergeron is up to, but at the same time, he doesn't get my newsletter, so we don't know each other.
It's true.
Yeah.
He might though. Like sometimes I wonder if he sits there and be like, I wonder what Eric's up to today.
Eric's up to. Yeah.
Let's see
I
what
wonder
that
how
dude.
his hair. I wonder how Eric's hair is doing.
That's true. I bet he does wonder that because he's had a receding hairline for years now. Like it's making its way back. So
Oh yeah.
yeah, he's got the
Eh.
always been a little thin up top. He pulls it off. He's doing fine.
It's nothing, right? Like
No.
if it wasn't evolutionary or genetically, beneficial to us, it would have weaned its way out many, many years ago. So clearly it's not a big deal. We don't as a
It's true.
species, it doesn't bother us. Maybe as a person it bothers him. But who am I, right? Everybody's yuck is somebody else's yum. Maybe Heather likes it. Maybe his kids like it. Who
Might be
knows?
into it.
Yeah.
Clean cut, you know?
He seems to be doing okay professionally. So
Yeah,
who am I to question it?
it's true. He's doing okay. And I don't even remember why I asked you that. I think we were just talking about Ben and putting
Pouring sand
pouring
was the
sand
idea. Right, is it was if I've got an ankle injury right now, and all these double unders always show up in the open. So you know what? I don't think I'm going to sign up for the open because I mean I can't even do double unders, Eric. So I'm not going to do it this year, right? Like I've been sick and I'm just not going to do it.
Yeah. That's this is the it's funny when people will say that to me. I in the back of my mind, I'm like, come on, just do it. Just do it. Just stop making excuses and just do it. And that's when it's like, yeah, you're right. You can't. Someone said, I think it was almost on the same. They can't jump or can't run or something like that. It's like, well, there's no running unless it's shuttle runs.
Jenny LeBaugh broke her foot 3 days, and this was a year that she had a chance. Like she was in top 10 of the games the year before, or something. Like she was at the height of her game. She broke her foot and proceeded to do the open with a broken foot. And it was when it was still 5 workouts. She was able to do 4 of the 5 workouts more or less RX because like she figured it out, worked around it. And just like kind of game. And then there was one where like she just couldn't do it. Like you know, and like she could not work around it. But she was in the running with a broken foot to make it to the next stage until that one workout came out. And then it was like, like she couldn't, like she ended up being able to get like a rep RX and then had to like ship it. And that knocked her down far enough. And I think to myself, like, okay, we're not gains levels athletes. Like maybe my scales and modifications will quickly cut me out of the next phase.
Right.
But I just think the exercise of creatively
finding a way,
stepping up, right? Creatively finding a way. And the whole thing about CrossFit, right? What's the very first tagline of it? Unknown and unknowable.
Yep.
Generally physically preparing you to face life. And guess what? The world and the universe and nature, it doesn't give a shit about you. It's going to throw you whatever it's going to throw you. The question is, how do you step up and respond to it? And if I'm doing a program that the methodology touts that it better generally physically prepares you to face the unknown and unknowable than anything else ever devised, test it, right? Take your last 6 months of being sick and injured, and you're feeling like, "Oh, I'm feeling a little bit better, like I'm on the mend," or no, I'm still kind of nursing something. See if your movement practice has been consistent and deliberate and intentional. See what comes out of the hop with the next 3 weeks or the 3 weeks of the open, and see how your methodology, the practice that you've implemented for yourself, stands up to that unknown and unknowable. And if it works in the sense of like it allows you to do something that you didn't think you'd be able to do, to me, that's a validation of the time and energy and money that
Yeah.
somebody is spending to come to the gym. And it's not a disappointment of I didn't do what I thought I was going to do. Don't have expectations. Simply have your expectations be, I wonder if the thing that I've invested so much time and money in is worth it. Test it. And if it comes around like, fuck, man, I could have rode the Peloton for a tenth of the price in my basement for the last 6 months and gotten better results, then stop fucking coming and go ride the Peloton for 6 months, right? And then test it again. I don't know. Like, you're like, shh, Jack, stop it, stop it, stop it. Right.
I'm confident that this is like Kate Brew, like talking about how great Lifetime Fitness is in the class. And I'm like, Kate, stop.
But
But
it is
it's
right.
I'm confident enough that like I'm willing to bet that that won't happen. I'm
Exactly, because it's not. I mean, like, it will serve. I'll use Nicole as an example. She's not here. We got the Peloton. It's almost been a year, I think. She loves it. She uses it. She's very consistent on it. She had fallen off of doing street parking for a couple months. She's just burnt. She's like, I just don't fucking feel like doing it. And I'm like, I get it, totally. She did did a street parking workout. It put her on her butt, right? And she was
after doing
after
Peloton.
not doing it for a while, for about 6 to 7 months. And she had like that, I need to do something else. Cause right, she's still doing her rides, loves the Peloton structure, the setup. It's great. Like it works for some people. It seriously is. You got flexibility, you get into a groove with it. Like, right. It is monostructural, cardiovascular, respiratory endurance. Like you build it, if it scratches that itch for you, it is a movement practice. Get after it. She was like, I'm missing, I need some weights. I need to do some stuff. And so she did some squats and deads for a while, did some basically did like a modified Wendler-ish type of thing that street parking has. But she was like, yeah, I need to do something CrossFit-y. So they have the vault workouts. Street parking does these vaults. And it put her on her. I mean, just floored her. And she was like, fuck. She's like, God dang it. So she's like back, right? And that's to me, like, that's a lifetime trajectory of fitness.
Yeah.
Your willingness to not be like, I do this. No, ebb and flow. Come back and forth to it and test your methodology with something. And if in that test, it shows you that maybe you're falling short or you're not as prepared as you thought you were, or like, right? Trust your instincts, but then also objectively trust the measurement, the observation and the measurement that something like CrossFit offers, that something like the open once a year offers. That, right? If you think you're really good at fill in the blank or really suck at fill in the blank, don't trust your instincts on that. Objectively measure it and see. And that to me is, I don't know, the whole reason. That's a reason that you could do it. I think it's a really valid and worthwhile reason. And the response that, wow, I'm just not where I was, and I'm just not, to me, that is, hey, everybody's feelings are their feelings. I get it. Like, that's the world we live in these days. But at the same time, I'd be like, dude, you can lie to yourself all day long if you want to, but my job isn't to agree with your lying to yourself. My job as your coach is to say, yeah, you're lying to yourself. Like you're making an excuse to not have to do something that scares you. And if that's what you want to do in your life, then okay. But I'm not going to be the type of person that just like, oh yeah, yeah. I'm gonna be like, No, you're lying to yourself because you want to make an excuse so that you don't have to challenge yourself because it's scary. Right?
That's what
Like,
that's the one that gets me sometimes. And I try not to take it personal, but from like I mean, we have it on the wall, like to be courageous, like
mhm.
when they're like, it's this worldwide competition. I might embarrass myself. How? Like,
Yeah.
how do you embarrass yourself,
Right.
right? Like,
That's it, right? That's a you, and not that's a you problem, but right, embarrassed to who? Like
who?
nobody's judging you. Like no, I mean that's not true actually. Somebody is judging you. Um,
Yeah,
they're gonna have a sheet of paper that
they're
says
judging your
judge's sheet.
emotion and reps. They're not judging you as a person and your
They're not
fitness.
right. They're not emotionally, socially,
Right.
though they may be inside. I don't know, but
That's
they are judging your movement in
yeah.
accordance with the established movement standards because it is a competition.
But But then, so like that's one thing, and I get, like, especially if this is new to you, I get it. I think if you've never done the open before, I understand that. And once you've done the open once, maybe even twice, you're like, okay, I get that. But it's the athlete that's like, I'm not, it's been a rough year, and I've had this going on. And I'm not gonna be able to do like the movements RX like I did last year, and so
Right.
like I'd probably have to
Oh,
scale.
thank goodness they've got a scaled and a
It's
adapt or whatever the third. I forget what it wasn't
foundations,
adaptive,
it's
but
on the foundations,
foundations. Right? Yeah,
yeah.
they've got two versions available to you.
And so when you tell me that like you're not sure you're going to do it because you can't RX it, so you might have, you'd have to scale this or that. So what's the problem? Like what's the like oh, you're not going to place as high on the leaderboard? Like is that bother you? Do you think it's not going to be an accurate test of your fitness because it's not where you were last year? And like
Right.
you said, it's your fitness is going to ebb and flow. You're going to have bouts where like life gets busy and maybe your consistency falls off, or you have an injury that you have to work through for a little while and you have to dial things back for a little bit. I love Luis. Like I love where Luis was. Like Luis had that, what was it, that neck and shoulder thing going on for a while, and then he
It's
was
back
basically
too,
told
right?
like he wasn't allowed to lift weights or heavy weights, right? He wasn't allowed to do any pull up movement. He got to a point where he's allowed to do it, but it always has to be strict. And he's back there in some of these workouts, like something that Luis could throw 135-pound snatch over his head all day, is doing this workout in class with a PVC pipe because he knows, like, this is what I can do and this is where I'm at. And it was wild seeing after he went through all of that, and then once he was able to kind of like let it loose again, like he was in a much better place. But he had to go down first to come back up, and so I think it's that thing that gets me. It's like, what are you really afraid of? And if you're afraid of it, then why don't you be courageous, like it says on the wall, and lean into that and see what happens.
Yeah.
And especially too, aren't you going to be coming to do the workout anyway on Friday? Like that's my big one. Aren't you coming anyway? And so, it's one of those like, and there's the reason I say I almost take it personally is like, am I not getting that? Am I not I guess cultivating that be courageous culture as much as I could be, or is that just
Yeah.
that's
I
on
don't
me?
I don't I don't resonate with that last part that you said, and not in a bad way.
Yeah,
So please don't take that personally. I'm just curious
will not.
why, like, what is it about that that you take? And you said, like, am I not cultivating? But like, I guess
And then
you
well, I
are.
guess
You clearly are for 18, 22 people.
yeah.
So, um, some like I'm like, what is it that causes you to pay attention to the
One.
the others that the one that doesn't or gives that response rather than the
I you know
22 that are standing up, waving their arms, screaming at
Right.
you like, you're doing it.
It's funny for me. I think it's almost because because I also look at it too, and it's like it's this big community event, right? Like that's the idea. It's this big community, you know, fitness party, whatever you want to call it. And it's more of like, and maybe it's not even I'm taking it personally, it's me like these people that did sign up for it and do want to be a part of this and are saying, yeah, like we're part of this community, we want to go after it. So like the person that says, yeah, they're not going to do it, they don't want to do it, it's not like for this excuse and that excuse. Well, why don't you? It's the, I guess it's the, like, are you too good for the rest of this community? Because they're doing it, and they're not like.
But right there, that's what I'm asking. Like, why do you go there?
I think it's almost like I think it's the. If
Like,
I
do you
didn't,
do that? Do you do that for people that I don't know, like where do you shop predominantly for groceries?
Trader Joe's probably.
So do
Yeah.
you look at the people that go to Giant and be like, "Pfft, what's wrong with you? Why don't you go to Trader Joe's?"
Oh, absolutely, I do. No, no.
So maybe those people's fears are
But
founded. Like you are judging them.
I think if I didn't own the gym, I may not feel that way, because it's almost like, you know, like, y'all are my kids, and I'm, I feel like I know what's best for you,
Hmm.
and some of you are like Fiona and Everett are on board, but Axel, you're being a real pain in the butt. I need you to fall in line because, like, trust me. And
Hey
actually, I'm
man,
going to go the
that's
other way.
I was about to
Everett,
say
Everett and
that's
Axel.
yeah, that is the nature of having three, right? Like
Right,
you're you are hitting home runs when you are scored 66%, right? Like that's a good day. And
right.
yet it still feels like hell. You've still
Yeah,
failed.
man.
You still have a D minus in parenting, and it's a good day when you have
Dude,
three kids. Yeah, like, and it's worse if you only have two because then you're lucky to get 50-50. Like,
and
good luck.
honestly,
It's either 100 or it's 100 or a zero.
I think it's so funny you say that, because I think and I think that's a great way of kind of putting it, where it's like, yesterday was absolutely that day. Like,
Yeah.
two of the kids were just like, at one point I said the other day, I was like, today, Megan, this one's my favorite. Right? Like, tomorrow's a new day. But
Yeah, I mean, it would be like a wave, right? So the twins would be Andrew would be all the way in the back. The twins would be in the center seats in their seats. And
yeah.
it would start like the twins are cool and Andrew would start losing his shit, right? And then like work its way up the van, work its way up the van. The two
Yeah.
twins are cool. And then like two of them are crying. And then it's like, ah, shit. Like you got to respond. You kind of got to look back. So then you get it like you get one of the twins to stop crying and Andrew to stop crying, but then the other twin starts crying. And you're
Yeah.
like, it's like whack-a-mole. At no point is all three of them
Yeah.
okay. At one point, always one of them, something's going on.
Yeah. And I think that was
So
that was totally
equate that
yesterday.
to a class.
And it was like the end of the day, and it was like just something happens, and it's like, regardless of the day as a whole being great, this one thing happens, and it almost like everything now has to revolve around this thing until we can like resolve it
Yeah.
and settle it down.
Yeah.
But it sits with me. It sits with me. It's almost
Uh,
like and Fee is the same way, where she came home from camp yesterday and she did this and they did this and they did this and they did this. I was like, sounds like you had a great day. And she's like, well, no, I didn't, because Alex told me I wasn't allowed to play in his group.
uh,
And that sat with her. Like, that ruined her day. And
Did you
so
figure out where Alex lives and then go drive by his house a couple times and figure out if you could
say
break
there's
his legs at the bus stop?
let me just say there's always something with this dude, Alex. And especially since one day she told him, she told him one day that she had a dream that they were grown up and got married, and
Yeah.
he was like freaked out and was like nervous being around her and didn't want to be around her anymore, and she just didn't understand why. And I was like, babe, life lesson. That's pretty par for the course when it comes to.
Yeah.
That's very normal.
He's a commitment phobe. You gotta tread lightly around Alex there. Yeah.
So,
He ain't gonna put a ring on it.
I think it's kind of I think it's and maybe there's something deeper seated too, where it's like,
You think?
I don't know where it's like, why can't I'm really stoked about these people that are just diving in headfirst and saying, let's go for it. But why can't I get through to these people? What am I doing wrong that I can't get through to these people? And it's
So
people.
how hard is it? How hard is it to shift the perspective and say, what are you doing right for the 22 that have already signed up?
It's harder than I realize, I guess. Like,
So I guess that's all right. Well, I mean,
that's what I need to do.
take a drink of your own medicine, man. Like
Yeah.
maybe try that a little bit and lean into it. And what's the one thing you could do to focus on those 22 and the success that allows you to let go of for a little bit, like that feeling? Because I mean, I translate, you are judging those who are not signing up. I mean, that's how this whole conversation started, is the person who goes, I don't really want to. And right. So is it, just like in a class, like give yourself 2 or 3 mods or scales or options. And like, is it start with just speak honestly to the person that says that and be like, I hear you. It just, I don't understand how this is of value to you if you don't want to do it. Is it I guess it's always that, start with your own emotion. Yep. That makes me sad because I was super excited to see how you're doing. I care. Maybe so that, and then I don't know what, right. This would be where the collaboration develops some sort of like, what's the one thing you can practice, right? Like,
Well,
personally, go ahead.
I would say you totally got me thinking about when I was having the conversation with Denise about banded pull-ups and that sort of thing. And my initial thought was, I don't love bands. And what I really just need to shift my mindset to is not that I don't love bands, because there's a negative vibe to that. It's bands provide a great tool. Bands can be a great tool for getting people where they need to go.
Yeah.
And so it's not saying I love bands, bands are the best. It's not saying I dislike bands. It is that bands have a place and they can really help someone where they need to go. And really, isn't that all that matters?
And can I offer, go, were you going to go more into that?
Go ahead.
I was going to say, if reading her, for those who didn't read her lengthy response, like I was so impressed by, like, wow.
I feel like I was reading
like 10 pages, a 10-page response. I was like, holy crap. But I think the heart of it was the next sentence, or the part of that comes after the comma of the sentence you just said, is that maybe why you don't like bands, or maybe why you think you don't like bands, is because bands immediately identify the faults in my own coaching strategy, because the majority of the people who use them don't effectively use them, because I haven't taken the time to deliberately and effectively, consistently coach them in how to get in and out of them, because I've either not managed my time correctly, I haven't accounted for how much time that's going to take, I haven't been clear with the intention of what a band is supposed to do, right? Like, fuck. So actually, why I don't like bands is because they manifest how bad of a coach I am in the athlete not using them effectively. I don't like bands. They're a waste of time, right? It's so much easier to say. And I'm with you. Like, when I was reading them, I'm like, she sees me. She knows me. She wasn't even responding to me. She was talking to you.
The whole time I was reading it, she was holding my hand, like rubbing my back, saying,
it'll be okay. And she was responding to you, but I'm like, oh, thanks, Denise. Totally, that is it. I don't put enough time in. I didn't plan correctly. I'm not effective. And then it finishes, and she goes, and like the whole thing. And she's like, and I know this is a really long answer that it come down to. It took me a long time to get to. It depends.
It depends.
Right? Like, it depends. I'm like, yeah, it does.
It does.
You're right. I'm okay still. I'm okay.
Oh, man.
I am still a good coach.
Okay, I'm doing okay. And you know what's funny? She has that way, like, the whole time. Like, she hears me, she gets me. And then Ackerman will post something that's like, if you have to set a time cap, then they're like basically something like, if you set time cap,
failed.
You're failing as a coach. Like, you need to adjust your ability to coach.
Yeah.
And really, and the feeling I get from him is like, yeah, you're such a dick, but you're right.
Yeah. It's a different approach, but it's the same. Yeah.
Like, this one makes you feel heard and connected. And he's just straight up like, yeah, no, you suck.
You know, though, I've watched videos of him coaching, like different videos, and he sets time caps all the time. But what he does, and I've taken this, is I'm like, all right, hey, folks, we got ourselves a 15-minute time cap on this. We shouldn't. So I'll set the clock, but I don't set it for 15 minutes. I set it for 20. You know what I mean? So in my head, I've time capped, and that way that gives somebody who goes a little bit longer than the time cap, nobody's getting beeped, and I'm making them, you're done, right? Like, no. I'll let them finish. But crap. Now the
Yeah.
now the rabbit is the cat's out of the bag on that. People are like, oh, I didn't know he was gonna, but if I'm doing it correctly, nobody even gets to that 15 minutes either. So
Yeah.
that's the part where he's right. But yeah. So
Yeah.
anyway, man, comes back to you, because right, that this is the this is I said to you about when we were before we were off camera.
Yeah.
The idea of the cliche of CrossFit's a piece of shit. Like, I can't believe somebody would, take a level 1 weekend class and then they expect them to be able to be a great coach. And I'm like, actually, what hinders us from being the better version of the coach that we could be than we are isn't our inability or isn't our ability to follow the level 1 manual. It's our inability to follow the level 1 manual because of all the bullshit we bring thinking we know better. That if we actually coached in accordance with the level 1 manual, the way the level 1 manual says to do it, we would be so much better at what we do, because it's me bringing people want to hear what I think. People want to hear my opinion. I'm really smart, and them hearing my opinion is going to make them better. 8 minutes later at the whiteboard, they're still not moving. Right?
I'm still quoting the Iliad, and
right.
there's still
that ain't in the level 1. Right?
Yeah,
When they need to get depth in the squat, and I'm trying to explain to them the architecture of the posterior chain and the way the knee works and not in the level 1.
No,
That's not the cue to fix range of motion in the squat.
Yeah.
So that sense of it's all in there. You are doing what an affiliate owner and a head coach and whatever other role you want to put next to your name, you're doing it clearly. You have 22 other human beings. You're almost at the maximum, the theoretical, hypothetical Dunbar number of if this was some Paleolithic tribe and you were our tribe leader, you can't manage more than 25 to 30 people. More than that, you need to have some sort of artificial architecture, structure, social dynamic, whatever. You have to have these, but from just a personal one-on-one, you're at 22. You're there. You're at the sweet spot. 20 to 25 is the sweet spot. So any more than that, Eric, it's going to start getting bad anyway.
Oh, there you go.
So in a sense, the numbers manifest. You are successfully doing what you're supposed to do. Your inability to see that has nothing to do with the fact that people are coming up, they're raising their hand and they're wanting to do it. It's you. You're getting in your own way. Yeah. Why and how to fix that? I don't know, right? My degrees aren't in that thing. I just do it. I just stayed at a Holiday Inn Express last night.
Yeah.
But right, that's the shift in the perspective of you're right. I'm not actually the prescription to CrossFit. Eat meat, nuts, seeds, some vegetables, some fruit, little starch, no sugar, right? Move large loads, long distances quickly, functional movements, rah, 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 rah. The 100 fitness in 100 words or less. I should probably memorize that every time I say that. That's the prescription. So my question is, how many people are following that actual prescription to the letter and not bringing in, well, I heard I could do, I think I should, I'm gonna nope, not doing the prescription anymore. You're not doing it, right? That. Stop doing what you think is best and then not being pleased with the results that the prescription is telling you to do.
Yeah.
If you're not doing it. Anyway.
Yeah.
Right, so, right, you're doing what you're supposed to be doing as an affiliate manager.
Yes.
You're getting the results that or owner, you're getting what you're supposed to get out of it. So why aren't you satisfied with that? Why aren't you looking at that? And that's not a judgment why, but
because all the motivation, because of all the business motivation Instagram pages tell me to never settle.
I mean,
if you're sleeping, you're settling.
What was that Bing?
I got a reminder
for
something. I don't know.
No, I left the comments up on the StreamYard to see if like I will see them if comments come in. But
Oh yeah, here. You want to test it?
again.
Anyway, but yeah,
I was just curious. I never watched the back end of this. I always have it full screen, but I figured I would see what back end looks like. I like your back end, buddy.
Yeah. Oh, I can't do it. Hold on. Anyway, yeah, it's good. I appreciate that because I didn't think about it that way, and that yeah, dude, like it's like you said. What we were saying earlier was the here we go, like you know, praise and give the attention to the ones that are there.
Yeah, it's positive reinforcement behavior change, right? I mean, that's Thomas Skinner, long time behavioral psychologist. I think he was a psychologist. I don't remember. Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
I've been moisturizing. Or were you talking to yourself? I'm so confused. We're both so pretty.
Talking to both of us. So pretty.
Yeah.
So yeah, see, I don't know what that is. Anyway, but yeah, well, cool. So I'm sorry. Let me get back to my regular page here. I'm all over the place. Yeah. So needless to say, hey, you know what? We're here. Sign up for the Open. We love the Open. It's a lot of fun. It's a great way to test yourself, set a benchmark, have a good time, be courageous. Get after it. We're going to have a lot of fun with it. And if you have all the excuses in the world as to why you don't want to do it, I hope you can work through that. And I hope you can still enjoy it when you come and do the workout on Friday.
We're going to be doing them.
We're going to be doing them. We're going to be doing them anyway. So
let me, and I don't want to take, I will keep this. I'm looking at the clock. I'll keep this to 90 seconds or less. I throw this out there to you I think I did before. I said, I'm going to try and do them Thursdays nights. I've had a couple of folks sort of like, oh, so I'm thinking as a resource to you, how that could be helpful is, like you don't have to do anything for this. I would set up a camera and video them in a way that I asked some folks to try to get sort of 3 to 4 of us to do them.
Yeah.
And like, I'm going to do it RX as best I can. But I'm 46, but I'll be in the 47. So I'm in the 45 to 50 age group, which is still, they're not going to scale it for us or modify it for us. So it will be as if the regular, open category, RX athlete. So you have like somebody who, used to be a lot fitter than he is now, but can do most things RX when it comes to the open version. Maybe have a slightly older gentleman, who will be doing it with that modification or scale, but it's not really a scale. It's just the 60 plus age group version. Maybe have somebody who would do it scaled, and then maybe have somebody do it foundations, so that I would video that, get it up to YouTube, get it onto YouTube, have the link in SugarWOD for you for Friday morning. Because you're going to be scheduling them for Friday mornings.
Yep. For
people to watch or see and see that like, oh, okay, I can see how, so-and-so does it. And that makes sense to me. The problem we're going to run into is I'm not going to manage that in any way of like, if there's people that are like, yeah, I'd be on board for that. Timeline is that 7 to 9 p.m. on Thursdays. That's the window that I'm trying to get it done. And there you go. So that just if that's of interest to you, and if you say, yeah, then I'll try to make it happen. If you're kind of like, yeah, I'm good, I'll still probably video them. It's just,
so I want to join you. I need to run that. I would like to join you. I want to run that by my boss. It's also, my guitar lessons are Thursdays at 7:30. So I need to move those.
Yeah.
So I got to talk to my guy, but I like that. And like you said, I'm going to use these words very carefully for anyone that's listening that might want to also partake. It's kind of like an open gym, that like, we're not going to be coaching you through it. Like, we're not going to be helping you strategize. Like, you'll know the movements, and as we're getting warmed up, if you have questions about like what's the standard for this and that, and how do we set up, like, sure. But this is not going to be, we're running a class. It's we're going to be here. we're gonna get ourselves ready to go. This will be our run of the Open. So
yeah. And I figured for you too, if you can make it, because I'm not Friday morning coach. I think you are usually the 5:15, 6:15 Friday morning coach. Like it's an opportunity for you too to like look at it and be like, ah, shitbirds. How the hell are we gonna set up a fucking 25-meter shuttle and handstand walk and ring muscle ups and like somebody's like, whoa. Is that the first? How does he know? I'm like, no. I don't know. And it's a 30-minute AMRAP, right?
Yeah.
Like, good. God, the friggin' Adrian.
I will also say this: if you plan on coming to do the workout, make sure you have your own judge in tow.
Right. Or if you don't give a shit about a judge, like I don't really plan on probably having a judge. I will just put my score in and validate it and say that you were my judge, even if you're not physically there.
Yeah. CrossFit HQ don't listen. Well, we're not affiliated. Not affiliated anyway. What do they care?
Well, the thing I look at it is I'm filming it, right? So if I think I've missed a rep or whatever, but like at this stage, and it's 25% make it to the quarter, to the next stage. Like, and then from there, I'm not making it. I'm not making it past the quarterfinals, probably. Like just history is any guide. Yeah, I'm not making it to
25%. How many people is that going to be?
It's going to be a lot, right? Like so all that to say, right? Like this is mine. I don't look at the Open as I respect it. I think it serves its function.
Yeah,
but I don't give a shit. Like but I want to use it as a test. Like I am in the midst of, I've changed my weekly schedule. I've gotten more deliberate with my nutrition in the last 3 weeks. Like, you know what's weird, man? I feel better. My shoulder doesn't hurt as much. I'm sleeping better. I'm not having to drink 9 cups of coffee a day. Like, it's weird, Eric. Like, I've been much more deliberate and consistent with my nutrition and exercise and my mobility and rest. And I just feel better, and I'm doing a lot better. Do you think there's something to that?
I think there might be. I think you're on something. I want to hear more about that. Tune into last week's episode.
Oh man. So anyway,
but what you're not doing is you didn't add like another strength cycle in, or are you doing?
Yeah. I'm doing 3 workouts a day now. I do a cardio type of thing in the morning, and then a skill session, and then I do a real like hit it metcon midday, and then I lift in the afternoon and the evening. And I go see my my chiropractor 3 times a week because I'm.
And then you're doing it, and then you do a UFC fight on Sundays. Okay, good, awesome. Squaring up in the octagon, I see. Good.
Yeah, and I'm going to do the Appalachian Trail next weekend, start to finish, Maine to Georgia.
Perfect. Well, speaking of the Open, I'll throw this out real quick. I'm very excited. I've been thinking about this for years. I'm like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to go for it. So I always want to try to find ways that I can like incorporate my love for pro wrestling, which FYI, starting in 2025, WWE will streaming on Netflix. I had that one up and ready to go. So I'm going to, Open Mania, here it is. Hold on, ready? Open Mania.
It looks good.
And I'm really excited. So you'll see how it kind of pans out. And if it doesn't mention pro wrestling at all, people that don't have no idea what's going on, they may not notice. It fills a cup for me that I'm excited to fill. The way I'm just going to tie some things together.
24. Oh, because it's 2024. I gotcha. I was like, this isn't the 24th Open.
Yeah, right. So I was like, do I make this like Open Mania 1? Or I was like, no, let's do 20 because it's the year 24, and it makes it. I like how it makes it like specific and exclusive to this year.
Yeah,
leading into like, here's the. I feel like I can make that bigger, but the t-shirts here. So we got our Open t-shirts. So we have several different options to choose from, and I'll talk about why. These are important. So if we're going to do a pre-order, I'll put up something in the gym, and you can sign up and pre-order your t-shirt. If you do the pre-order, you get 10% off. 1 shirt for $30, 2 for $50. And if you pre-order, you're almost, I want to say, for the most part, guaranteed that you will have your shirt in time for the Open. After February 3rd, an online store will be set up that you can order from there. You'll just be paying full price, and you may not get in time for the Open. So do that. But what this will also tie into is Where's my cool? So I'm putting it out there for people for a chance to win 2 free months of Fairwinds CrossFit. Last year, Marita won this, and this I just did a random drawing at the party. Where, so here's how you do this. You want a chance to win we're going to do a raffle. Number 1, Jack, be a member. Your name's already in the pot. So if you're a member, your name's already in the pot. Cool.
Yeah.
Number 2, register for the Open. So 22 of you have your name in the bucket twice already. 22 of you, and more of you will. So have your name in the bucket twice already. If you pre-order a t-shirt, your name gets thrown in a third time. And then the last one is on Saturday, I think that's February 3rd, to Saturday at 10 a.m. There's going to be a nice little plunge into the bay of Oyster Harbor Beach. So it'll be after class, 10 a.m. at Oyster Harbor Beach. Come and plunge. If you plunge, you get your name in the bucket for a 4th time. So you get your name in the bucket 4 times. 4 times. And then I'll do a drawing. I'll actually do a drawing after the plunge and see who gets those 2 free months. So,
it's funny, folks. I asked Eric prior. I asked him, other than just getting your name, are you supporting? Why would you want to come do the plunge? And do I know what he said? He goes, "Why not?" I thought that was the best answer possible, right? Why do you do this? Why not?
It'll be fun.
Yeah, that's perfect.
I want to get people
good point. I like. Yep, there you go. Why not?
You know what? We got to connect to the creek in some way. Might as well do it physically. Get your ass in the. Well, we'll be on the bay, but yeah.
I think I got something going on that weekend.
Yeah, dude.
Oh yeah, I'm out of town.
It's just a cold plunge right there in the back. I saw.
Ours is right there, right there. Yeah.
Saturday's not one of your plunge days, is it?
Nope. Monday's Friday. Sorry, you guys shifted. If it's either Monday or Friday, maybe I'd be in, but nope. Sorry. Nope.
It's all right, Jack. I'll charge you full price for your members. You can pay full price. So anyway,
it's not working out, man. I'm sorry. I think I'm gonna have to part ways with Fairwinds. Oh boy.
Oh man.
Be like, over a cold plunge?
Really?
You may want to look into that, buddy.
Yeah.
You may want to assess. You may want to turn that mirror around.
I might
time.
I feel like now, should I set the standard? Should it be fully submerged, or like should I say bare minimum? Like you got to go up to your neck.
I don't know. I mean, you're diving into a whole nother etymological, philological examination of language. I mean, basically, what you're asking is, what's the definition of plunge?
Right. I want to make sure that that's clear because. I'm gonna put out there, and I say this. Michael would do the Special Olympics super plunge every year, where they go in one on the hour every hour for 24 hours.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, that's awesome. And I went one year. His ass only went to his knees, and I'm like, that's not a plunge. I was like, he went in. I'm like, so I lost a lot of respect for him. Lost a lot of respect for him that day. He went into his knees and then jumped in a hot tub. I was like,
oh my gosh. That sounds that I'd be on board for that. Is that?
So I think I just want to make sure I set.
I don't really have a whole lot of feeling in my lower extremities anyway. So I mean, sure, I'll do that. Yeah, if I could just stay above my knees, good to go.
I think what I'll need to do is I'll have head judge Luis. I'll have him go first to demo it, and then he comes out of the water. And then he gets to no rep anyone that didn't quite make it. So that might need to be what I do.
That all sounds horrible.
Yeah, that's
good luck. You know what?
The entire Bauer family is tuned in on Instagram, by the way. All the Bauers.
All the Bauers. You got them all.
Got them all. So anyway, yeah. So that's it. So a bunch of chances. I'll have that information up. But yeah, pre-order a T-shirt. Plunge in the water. Don't get no repped by head judge Luis, and sign
up for the Open, folks.
And Jack sends us sign up for the Open, guys. Just sign up for the Open. It's a lot of fun.
I extend my emotional support to you all virtually from afar.
Thank you, and I will place it in my pocket where I will keep it nice and warm and pull it out occasionally,
like those gummy bears.
They're warm for being in my pocket. Well, cool. Let's hit it. Yeah, we're on it. Let's go. Gratuities.
Actually, it's fine. Mine's my dad this week. been going back and forth. He put together to come watch Matt's hockey game this coming Saturday. My niece, my middle sister Chrissy's one of her twins, has gotten into hockey, played field hockey, and then the tradition at their school is if you're on the fall field hockey team, they all play ice hockey, even if they're horrible. And that's actually like they take pride in the fact that they're horrible. So he put together them to come watch one of Matt's games. So my sister was coming and my brother-in-law and stuff, and we were going to meet at the game's up in Baltimore, just outside Baltimore. So we're going to have dinner and then the game. Well, Matt's he's messed his shoulder up, did something. So we had to take him to get an x-ray on Saturday or Monday and stuff. And so I'm going back and forth with my dad, and he's very interesting on text. Right? We all are. I'm sure my kids are going to be like, dude, what's wrong with you? When we get to a certain age. So I always read into his text. Like he's just like, Jesus Christ. All right, fine. Whatever. He calls it the worst time, right? Always. And I'm like, get over yourself. Like, he's fine.
Right.
So we went back and forth, and I'm like, I don't know. Anyway, but he texts back. He goes, hey, shoulders are sketchy. They're kind of important for golf. Tell him to take it slow. No rush. We'll figure out something else. Like I was reading in like he was trying to like force something, and he was just looking for information, and then he just completely de-escalated everything, right? He truly was just looking for information and updates and not like pushing for anything, because sometimes it can feel, how it is, parent, like you can feel it. And I was just like, look at that. 47, almost 47. Like, you can still learn from your parents no matter how old you get, if you're willing to get the fuck out of your own way. Like that's like, I was being 7. I was being a 9-year-old. Right? It's not what he was doing. He was just like he was legitimately just treating me like an adult and like asking like, but then he couldn't help himself. He was very fatherly and was just like, hey, there's no need to rush it. It's really important. Matt's got plans, right? He wants to be a big golfer, and like that's important. So take it slow. Get those shoulders healthy. We'll figure something else out. And I was just like,
nice, Dad.
Exactly. Thanks, Dad. So it was like that. I'm like, that's a cool moment. Now the cool part, I texted him back and I was just like, thanks, dude. I really appreciate that. It does feel, and like we had because I am trying to be a better, like, aware adult, self-aware, and like when something works and you're grateful for something, other person, right? Don't just like let it like say, thanks, I really appreciated that. I needed that. That was very helpful. And then he texted me back like a funny, inappropriately used or ineffectively used emoji. I was just like, perfect. There it is. Right. He sent like the poop emoji or something.
Right.
I don't get it.
Why did you send me a birthday cake? I don't get it.
Exactly, right? Like there we are. That was it. Well done. Thank you, sir. Perfect. So I was just very grateful of like, that was fun. That was
nice. I'll say because I feel like I talk about it every week. I'm gonna say mine this week is Miss Denise Thomas and the coaching development calls on Tuesdays. Because unfortunately, I have to coach Tuesday evenings now for a while. So I'm not going to be able to jump on those calls. They're 5 o'clock, so I'm not going to be able to jump on those calls. But it's just, I mean, it's a resource that I pay for, but it's like hands down, like just the experience and the way that she presents things, the way she talks through things, and the way, I mean, it's why like those red shirts are red shirts. It's why the seminar staff is our seminar staff. They don't just know how to coach a squat. Like, it's so much deeper than that, and it's like it's artful. And I know for her it's hours and years and months and days and weeks of like honing in that craft. And it's been so cool being on there. And she has a way of like, you're on a call with 30 other people and she still has a way of making you feel like you're the most important person in there. And it's so it's been cool being exposed to that. Because it's totally like a thing I look at and be like, oh, I could be even better because if I can be like that, so set the standard. So that's mine. So I will not see Denise for a while, unfortunately, but and I'll get over it. And I think Meg's like, I'm tired of you talking about Denise Thomas. So anyway, Cool. So that's mine. That's mine. Cool. Oh, Jack, your face froze. Jack's face froze in like the perfect way. Let me see if I can save this. So anyway, well, thank you all for everything. I'm going to sign out. Maybe Jack will be back. I'll say bye for Jack. Have a wonderful